William Morrow and Harper Audio present American Pop, a novel, by Snowden Wright, performed by Robert Petkoff. Families are always rising and falling in America, but I believe we ought to examine more closely the how and why of it, which in the end revolves around life and how you live it. Nathaniel Hawthorne. Southerners need carbonation. Nancy Lehman, Lives of the Saints. Part 1. Chapter 1.1. The famous Panola Cola dynasty. Piece of time, piece of ass. Will H. Hayes rolls over in his grave. Cold duck, the prey of a cola hunter. All happy families. How far would he go? Montgomery Forster asked himself that question as he stood on top of the Peabody Hotel. The answer was obvious to everyone but him. Recently elected Lieutenant Governor of Mississippi, a graduate of Princeton University with honors, and a decorated corporal in the First World War, Montgomery's prospects were considered limitless, especially in light of his relationship to the Panola Cola Company. Political columnists said he would someday take up residence at the White House. Corporate insiders said he would expand the family business all the way to Timbuktu. On the roof of the Peabody Hotel, an hour from midnight, however, the heir to the Forster dynasty was not thinking in such terms. He was calculating the number of stories and windows he would pass, the distance in yards, feet, and inches he would fall if he took a step off the ledge. Not far enough, Monty told himself. Gravel crunched beneath his shoes as he walked to the other side of the roof. Shortly after he rang for the elevator, it arrived. The operator, Edward Pembroke, a former circus trainer who later that year would be named Duckmaster, a position he was to hold until his retirement decades later, welcomed his new passenger. At the start of their descent, Pembroke turned to Montgomery and said, "Getting some of our Memphis fresh air?" "That's right." "Nothing like our Memphis fresh air." "Superb." The air in northern France had been different. There it had been the literal humanity rather than the figurative inhumanity that shocked Monty. When he first arrived at the front, he expected to be overwhelmed by the cordite smoke he'd read about in novels, the mustard gas he'd learned about during basic, and the kerosene vapors he'd heard about from veterans, but what he noticed more than anything were the excretions, some overflowing latrines, and others staining armpits, from thousands of men living in such proximity to one another. So many bodies suffocated the scent of war. Less than a month after arriving on the continent, though, he met a British officer, a man he would come to know, care for, and even love, whose features proved a welcome distraction. The glistening sight of the brilliantine he combed into his mustache, the exotic sound of his accent refined in public school, the smooth feel of his cheeks from the sandalwood oil he used as aftershave, the sugary taste of the hard candies he kept stuffed in his pockets. Monty managed to focus only on those sensations, even when the smell coming from the bodies of his fellow soldiers was that of their decomposition as they lay scattered on the ground throughout no man's land. "Lobby floor, sir," Pembroke said to Montgomery. "Watch your step." For a moment, the tableau of the New Year's Eve party in the lobby, the drumfire of champagne corks and the salvo of foil horns, the report of toy ratchets and the detonation of confetti poppers, sent a tremor down Montgomery's forearm that he quickly dispelled by clenching his fist. "Goodbye, 1939," read a banner hanging from the mezzanine promenade. "Hello, 19—"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?